Yo guys, what's going on? LifeOfRio here, and I'm back with another Equinox Duality build video. First off, I want to thank you guys for the Army of Two Duality build video that I put out first. Thank you guys for the crazy amount of support on that video. If you guys want any additional information on the breakdown that I first told you guys, if you haven't used my build before, please go ahead, click the link in the description, and it will take you there. So first off, like I said, thank you guys for everything. Next, I want to say is that build is still usable. It's completely fine. But I kind of updated it, kind of made it better. So you guys know me. What I'm going to do whenever I'm testing these builds for you guys to make sure it's completely amazing in the best possible way, if I'm going to give you guys this build, is that I'm going to go do some testing. So the testing that I did was with solos and team play. But in team play, the build is just completely insane. So I was like, okay, let me really test myself and bring this to a solo. So I did a couple solo defenses on void defenses and everything like that. I think the highest I got up to on each was about like 75. So overall, it's pretty freaking great. The thing is that with the build being as powerful as it is, you really don't need a friend. You don't need a friend. You might want to cancel all your friendship applications for the year 2018. The thing about it is that it's just about me, myself, and I. That's all I got in the end. No, you guys wasn't feeling the vocals? God dang, man. But listen, overall with this build for defense, what you're going to focus on is that your 4 is going to help get you through the rounds a lot faster, because you're going to have the extra amount of range that you're going to need. And remember that your clone is going to help you stack your damage. So that is the good thing about it. So you're going to get to higher DPS way faster. Now, dealing with enemies in the 1-200 levels, that's nothing. That's baby stuff. That's cupcakes. That's like My Little Pony parties. That's nothing for this build, because the clone and you are going to be doing so much damage. Now, if you guys remember in the last video, I recommended weapons for you guys. If you guys want to check out all the weapons that I said, go ahead and check out that video. I'm just going to go over a quick few in this one. Now, the weapons that I always recommend is the freaking Czar. Remember, it got buffed. Come on now, like, get with the program. The other thing that I want to tell you guys, Sobek, of course, one of the best go-to weapons. I would probably say in a lot of scenarios, the Sobek is better. If you're going up against enemies without armor, it's definitely going to be better than the Czar, and it's going to be easier for you to use because you won't be able to kill yourself, right? Next thing, if you guys don't know, I put this out, Equinox Time Comb. Freaking insanity. That's just what it is. So remember, Equinox clone, whenever the clone is using the comb, ooh, that's a tongue twister. What happens is that there's no fall off damage. So remember that the range with the clone goes up to 300 meters of precise accuracy with no spread. You're completely fine with that. And that's with majority of most weapons. The next thing is that you're going to get 300% of extra damage when your clone is doing the killing. I've told you guys multiple different scenarios. You guys can go back and refer to that video if you guys want to see. I do a lot more in-depth breakdown. I'm just going through this again because it's my second time. Now, with all of that being said, with this build, you're going to focus on more range. You're going to have the range and everything to put together to really lock down stations and scenarios for you, which is going to make it to where you can deal with enemies before they get to the pod. Now, with this build, every single form, and I'm saying every single like it's like 5 or 6, but your night and day form is completely usable at just completely high levels. So you can use your day, or you could use your night. It's a full-on balance build with duality. So whatever form you're in, just make sure that you have some kind of compensation of understanding of knowing what it is that you're doing. Now here, while I'm doing this defense right now, what's happening is that I'm definitely using the Czar with viral. And what's going to happen is that whenever you get like bursters and things like that to come out, I'll switch to my clone and I'll pull out the Sycoris Prime, which I'm rocking with corrosive, and it just completely melts. It's not really challenging at all. I just do it because it's something that's fun and it's keeping my attention away from other things. So like now, whenever like Ambus or one of them comes out, I'm going to just switch to my Sycoris and the clone is then going to wipe it. The build overall, I would say it's in the top 5 of strongest solo builds in game. Without frames, is completely breaking the game, like where, you know what I'm saying. I'm not going to put any frames out there, but it's fantastic. If you guys like defense, you like to play defense, but your connection and stuff like that isn't, you know, the best to play with others, then this is the build that you're going to need. A lot of different things are going to go to it. Another thing that I want to point out to you guys is that while you're doing solos or while you're doing team play, it's kind of hard to outkill you. There's really nobody that can outkill you. The only time I can see you being outkilled is if you do an exterminate or something. Other than that, I haven't really came across most frames that can outkill Equinox with this build and the setup that I have going for it. Now, as you can see, I used the Zard and I switched over and I'm using the Sobek. The Sobek and everything else, it has the scaling damage, and the clone is going to make the damage go up tremendously, and you're going to be wiping out enemies in hordes. And a lot of the times you're going to be like, wait, did I just kill all those people I don't remember shooting? But remember, your clone is shooting. Another tip that I gave in the last video was to let you guys know to make sure that while your clone is shooting, shoot at a delay. Make sure your clone is shooting first and then you shoot second. And then, because by that time your clone is reloading, then you're still shooting and you're keeping up your KPS and your DPS at a lot higher rate. Especially in the scenario that I'm in now, you will mainly focus on your sleep because you're in a dire situation. You want to keep the enemies away from you, and then while they're asleep, your clone can actually go through and get the kill. Now, in this video right here, what basically happened is that I did it on stream, and a lot of people were telling me not to use my Zenny Star, so I was feeling like, you know, that kid that had their first sleepover and you're missing home? I missed home right now because I didn't have my Zenny Star. But I went in here with the Orthos, still got almost 5k kills, so that was pretty amazing. It's pretty fun. So imagine if I did have my Zenny, or if I had a whip or anything else like that. Alright, so let's go ahead and take a look at the build, right? Now, speed holster is going to be a super staple on this build for me. It is so important. Speed holster is going to increase your DPS and your kills per second because you're going to be switching between your weapons so fast anyway when you're using this build, because remember, your primary and your secondary is going to have a different elemental combo that you're going to need to use to set it up to take over the missions a lot quicker and a lot more effectively. So speed holster is super strong. Enemy sense is a personal choice. You can do whatever you want. You guys know I don't need to go over enemy sense. I use that so much. Redirection and vitality is a staple also because it helps your clone's survivability. Remember that the clone actually stays up off of shield and health mods. Now, natural talent is also a personal favor of mine because I want to cast maim a lot more efficiently and a lot quicker. And overextended is going to be there because it is just completely perfect for this build. The thing about it is that you don't need any power strength on this build, because what's going to happen is that the clone is still then going to do all of that damage. I've tested the build with more power strength, and I've tested it with okay power strength, and I've tested it with negative power strength, and it is completely the same. It's doing the same amount of killing at every single level up. I've tested it against all factions at high level. Overall, the build is fantastic. I really do hope that you guys enjoy it. Let me know if you're liking the other build in the comment section, man. And if the one thing that I want to point to you guys is this, and I'm just going to go ahead and put it out there, this is seriously the strongest Equinox build. If you build Equinox just for her 4 anyway, you're still not going to out damage this build. If you do Equinox for anything, I don't even know what else is left for Equinox. But the thing is this, is that this is her strongest build because you can combo every other move in here. Now, one thing I want to point out is that your mend and your maim, your 4th ability, is going to have 24 meters on it. Having that 24 meters is giving you just enough range with having on overextended to do enough damage of what you need. Now, what's then going to happen is that your clone is going to build up all of that extra damage for you while you're reloading, while you're doing anything, while you're getting a snack in the kitchen. It doesn't matter. Your clone is then going to build up all that extra damage for you, and while the damage is building up, it's stacking onto your 4th ability. So you're going to be getting DPS kills a lot faster. You're going to be doing AoE killing a lot faster and a lot more effectively. So the thing about this one is, what is the downside of the build? The downside of the build is basically then going to depend on the player, on how you're using it. I hear some people will tell me, oh, but Rio, I don't understand it. The clone isn't doing anything. The clone isn't doing anything because the clone has built-in enemy radar. Since it has built-in enemy radar, it looks derpy, but it's actually not. That's because it's seeing the enemies through walls that you're not seeing, and it's tracking them while they're coming towards you. The thing about this one is that you want to do is have the clone in an open area. Once you have the clone in an open area, once it sees the enemy, it's then going to kill it. I've never had a problem with the clone just being super derpy with me when I figured out what it is actually doing. So once you figured out what it's actually doing, you get all that going. I don't want to say that you need this. I want to give you guys some advice. AoE weapons should be a staple on your build, or at least try out AoE weapons to see how significantly higher your DPS will be than when you're using single target weapons. If you're going to be using specific weapons, let me know what weapons you're going to be trying with this build. I've tried it with mainly AoE weapons. I've tried some single target weapons, and it is just not refreshing unless you get all the enemies to line up and you and your clone is completely out there dishing out so much damage that you're hitting all the enemies with punch through. Now, with all of the other weapons that have gotten buffed, you guys let me know, what are you planning to use with this weapon? Where are you planning to, you know, try this weapon at? What missions? The thing about this one is, like I've said, this is Equinox's strongest build when you add duality to it. And since you have the range, you're going to be able to use sleep at any time. You're going to be... Now, one thing I want to point out. Equinox's day form, Rage, dude, freaking amazing with this build. If you put the enemies to sleep... While you put the enemies to sleep, and then while they're sleeping, switch to your day form, and then use Rage on the enemies that is sleeping, and your clone is then shooting it with you, you're just going to see every enemy wiped out on the map. It is freaking beautiful because the scaling damage from the Sobek as well. I think that might be the strongest combo I have seen so far. It is completely ridiculous. Give it a try. Let me know what you guys think. You have to set it up correctly. It's very quick, very efficient, because you're going to have enough range on sleep. You have at least 7 meters, 6.8 to 7 meters on your sleep, which is the radius of it, to where you're going to be able to lock enemies down. Another thing that I did not say is that with this build, you will be able to use double augments. You will be able to use double augments. You can switch these things out and use double augments, which is going to be pretty freaking great. And I'm super happy about that. So I am still waiting on her new augment. It's just that I haven't heard anything from DE talking about it. And I will be testing that as well. Overall, where do I place Equinox on this one? On a freaking god tier level. This build is so amazing. It's so fun. The DPS is one of the highest in game. One of the highest, not the highest. And the thing about it is that you'll be able to keep up. Out of all missions, you're going to be doing endgame with no problem at all. If you're an Equinox lover and you love Equinox, let me know in the comment section. Also, once again, if you guys have used the build, let me know if you enjoy it. Let me know, man. I freaking love duality. It's made me fall in love with Equinox so much more. It doesn't matter the melee, as you guys will be able to see at the end, that I didn't use the Zenny Star. You could use whatever melee weapon you want, the Orthos. It doesn't matter. Anything. Sure, you could use a butter knife. It doesn't matter. You're still going to be top dog kills. Because the clone is adding to your kills and everything else like that you're doing. So it's a 2v1 at all times. So it's just super, 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 super fun. So I hope that you guys enjoy it, man. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Another thing that I want to do, will let you guys know, is that if you aren't following me over on Twitch, follow me over on Twitch. Remember, I'm going to be playing against Mogamu and Rob in Survival and Neoness. We're going to be got some YouTuber challenge going on over there. That's stuff that we're going to be doing. My Twitch is LifeOfRio. You guys can come over there and check me out. Follow the Discord. Make sure to check out the link for the previous Equinox video if you guys want more of a breakdown. Thank you guys for all of the support. Much love to you guys. You guys are amazing. And I will catch you guys later on the next Warframe video.